Welcome to another episode of the Empowered Half Hour. And I am so excited to bring you today's guest because I have a feeling we're going to get raw and real. And I love episodes where that happens. So today's guest is Michelle Choairy, and she's a mom of a special needs kid, and she does advocacy now for special needs. And I think this is such an important conversation because so many of us, whether it's that story or another story, sometimes we try to mask the difficulty of situations. And there is such a empowerment that comes from like just owning our situations. And in the little bit that I got to talk to Michelle, I was already getting super excited to get you guys to listen in on her. So Michelle, welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Becca, for having me. I appreciate this. This is going
Yes.
to be fun.
I
Yes.
know. I have a feeling. And let's get into it. I mean, I opened up with this saying like, hey, let's get real and raw. So let's go in. There's a reason that your advocacy is important to you now. And so, like, let's talk a little bit about that backstory. How did you rise into saying, like, hey, this is something that's really important to me and I want to have a voice for this?
Yeah. So I have two kids. I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old going on 16. She thinks that she's 16 years old. My son is 11 and he was born very, very premature. And through the years, we started kind of noticing some developmental delays, some things that weren't quite, going the right, way of things. And so he didn't speak his first word until he was 3.5 years old. And it was the word more. It was not mom or dad. It was more. I want more. And that's how we created our lives, right? So he was little, he was always petite, he couldn't speak. And so you start going through all of those things and all of those emotions that come with, am I doing something wrong? Did I eat too much Taco Bell and drink too much Dr. Pepper to make this happen while I was pregnant? You know?
Or like silly things like that, but they go through your head like, did that contribute? I don't know.
Yes, and you go through all of that and the kind of a guilt thing, and then, you do it, right? You just, okay, he needs speech therapy, so we're gonna take him to speech therapy. Okay, he needs occupational therapy, so let's take him to occupational therapy. So now he is 11, and about 3 years ago, we finally figured out what it was that was causing this. And he actually has a very rare genetic disorder that is called TBR1. There are about 200 kids in the world with this genetic disorder, and he's the only one with the variant that he has. So far, there's nobody else with the same variant as my son. And so when you say one in the world, he is
Wow.
one in the world. And so from those things, so for the past 20 years, I've been in medical sales and in a very
I've been
powerful
in tech
position.
sales,
Oh,
so
did you? Yes.
yeah.
So, and I work for a very big orthopedic company, and I've been doing that, and I have been very successful at that. And so, about 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I started kind of questioning, okay, I'm getting close to 20 years here. Like, what is this going to look like in my life in the future? Like, am I going to stay in this career? And then all of a sudden, people started asking me about things about special education. Like, how did you get 3 times a week, speech therapy in school for your son? And all of those questions started coming, and I said, "You know what? I think this is my calling. I
Oh,
think
I just got
that
the goosebumps as you shared that. Yeah, I would happen
I
to agree.
think." Oh, thank you. But, it's seriously like it started with just people asking me questions. And then it was like, I need to do something about this. Like, there are so many families out there that have no idea how to advocate for their special needs. And I like to call them complex kids because you
Yeah, tell
can't.
that in your bio. Yeah.
Yes, the differentiation when it comes to special needs, like autistic, neurodivergent and all of that. To me, kids are just complex. It's just a little complex. It's a little bit more than a neurotypical child. So the parents that have these children, they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how to advocate a lot of the times. And so that's when I was like, this is what I need to do. And so here I am. I opened Wisdom for Complex Kids, And now it's become special education concierge. And I've been advocating for parents and for the little kiddos.
That
So,
is awesome. That is awesome. I have so many questions I wanna ask, but I think the question I wanna ask next is probably really relevant for the audience. I
mhm,
really appreciate that you had shared that you've been in 20 years, like, high performance sales, 'cause I've been in tech sales for 20 years and about ready to retire as well and do my other thing full time.
mhm.
And in that, a lot of the listeners are in these high performance roles and managing, like I said, whether it's complex kids or the caretaking parents. Like, how did you navigate that? Like, how? Let's talk about that because they're probably like,
Not well.
Michelle, what can you say right now? Help me.
No, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard, and there's a lot of guilt involved. There's a lot of delegating that needs to happen, and
I want
really,
to
when you're
stop
in
you right there just because
yes,
women particularly have a hard time delegating,
yes.
especially when it comes to the family. And I
Mhm.
imagine that, and at work too, but when it comes to the family, I know they own like everything regarding the household, everything regarding their children and their care. And so, like, can you just go off on delegating like a little bit? And
Yes. It's delegating with the holding the power still, because
yes.
it's too hard to just let it go and just like, "Here you go," right? So, delegating. One of the hardest things that there is for high performing women to do, and you are so right. I kind of think that in my position, in my job, I'm in medical sales. So I do orthopedic medical sales. And through the 20 years that I've been doing this, what has helped me is that I had to build a team. And the reason why I needed to build a team is that I couldn't scale, I couldn't get bigger, I couldn't sell more until I had, sometimes I call them, I know this is going to sound so bad, but the minions or the, you know, you raise these people. Now, like I'm the mom, right? And so I call them my kids. So my kids, they come in so you can get better and you can grow and you can scale, right? So when you think about this as a mom of a complex kid, or really just as a mom, like you need a village, you need people to help you. And so, and that is hard. It's hard to let that go. But if you don't do it, you are going to break and burn out. And one of the things that you have to remember is that if you're not well, your child is not going to be well. And
Oh,
so when you have a special needs child, a complex kid, you need to be well for them because I really truly feel that they feel a lot more than we actually think that they do. And I'm going to tell you, Becca, I'm not perfect by any means. Like it's up and down and it's everywhere. And, there are great days and there are some really awful days.
I'm sure.
And so the way that I did this was he basically has a therapist, some kind of an appointment after school every single day. And then as my daughters started getting older too, things, started going that way. So now we have a calendar on my iPhone that is the family calendar that you need to pick up Drake on this address at this time. It's right there. So you delegate in a way, but you really kind of, you just like,
But you still got
eh,
your eyes on it, you know what's
yes,
happening, and
exactly. So it's not letting go of the power, it's knowing how to manage that. It's truly one thing is that if you're not well, your child is not well. And I really truly mean that. And that's one of the things that I always talk about with some of the moms that I've been helping, even when I'm just doing advocacy for their kids. It's part of what I do. I'm not here just for the kids. I'm here advocating for the parents also.
well, to your point, like, if the parents aren't healthy, then the kid's not gonna be healthy, so it's like you have to, and I applaud you for that because you really do have to work the whole family system.
Mhm. Yeah, you have to have that. You've got to. And you bring in everyone. So, my husband has to come in to this. And then we have been lucky enough to have had an au pair or somebody that's always helping us in the house. And so I think that that also comes with becomes a part of being in this positions, right? Is that you're powerful, you have these powerful jobs, and you can get that help, right? It's owning that and
I
saying,
love that.
okay,
And I
you have
think
to.
I think there's 2 things, like, that I'm hearing right now is one is, like, you gotta give yourself permission to not handle it all. Like,
Hmm.
you can be the overseer. We're powerful women. We do that. You can be the
Hmm.
overseer. You can't take it all on because you will
Hmm.
break. And the other
Yes.
thing I'm hearing is that you just need to own it, like own the situation. This is the cards that you were dealt, but it doesn't mean that you were dealt a bad hand.
Hmm.
It just means
Yes.
that you have to look at it differently. You got to give yourself, again, like I'm going to use the word permission, but permission to build a team around you, permission to look at this from different lenses that
Yes.
maybe a
From
neurotypical
different
family
lenses.
can't, you know?
Yes. Yes. So one of the things is that so you have the family, you have the relationships, you have the people who are around you. So I created this thing because I was trying to figure out how was it that I did all these years, and I came up with this. It's called Thrive. And I'm going to go really quickly because
Yeah,
it's
I'm
going to
like,
make
please do
it's going to
tell. This is the
yes.
stuff I love. I'm like, go into it.
So,
Let's
okay, so the team thrive is teamwork. And this was one of the things that I did in the beginning was I wanted to have the best team, and team I mean medical team, the best medical team around my child. So I looked for a developmental pediatrician. I looked for a good speech therapist that could help me, could advocate for him, could help me do all these things. I love speech therapists because we've always had a speech therapist that, in the family. And so I love them, love them, love them. Then you have a good pediatrician, and then you have a good OT, and then you have, the medical team that's going to help you on that side of the things. But that is one part that we really get lost. And
mm,
so, okay, so that's the T. Then the H is the help systems. And in there, this is huge. It's the insurance companies. You have to learn how to speak their language. It's the, school system. So you have to pretty much be a special education advocate for your child. And you have to learn all the acronyms and everything that they talk about. And also you got to remember that the state funded programs can really help your child too. So that's in the H. So that's where you get the help
okay.
from the outside in. The R are the relationships. And this is kind of what we've been talking about, having that village, having the family around, bringing people together, because without a village, you're not going to be able to deal with it. The I is integration. You got to make sure that you're well, because if you're not well, your child's not going to be well. The V is validation. And that is, when you have a special needs child, the wins are going to be very small and they're not going to come that often. And so you have to celebrate those small wins. And so you have to validate those moments that your child is
Important.
doing, saying more for the first time, right? And
Yeah.
then the E is if you do all of this, then you can expect the miracle to come, which is you're going to be okay. And so is your child. So that's the thrive. That's kind of what I came up with.
And
So.
when someone comes into your world, is that where you start them with? Is like the Thrive outline or
So it depends on how they're finding me for, right? Lately, it's been a lot about special education. And so I actually attend IEPs. I help with the state funded programs. How do we get those things for you? But that is usually when I'm doing like my call, right, with them. I offer a free call with everybody. And so my free call is usually, okay, where do you think that your needs are right now? And we talk about those things. And then sometimes we don't even know what our needs are, right? We don't know what that is. But I bring all of that together along with the special education advocacy that I do, along with teaching them how to do all these things because it takes time. You're going to come to me because you're broken. Something is going on and you need help with something. So, yeah. And so that's kind of how it is. And this is what I decided that I was going to do. And it was going to, it has worked so well for so many moms out there. So, yeah.
that's beautiful. I understand why you're passionate about it. just from the texture of our conversation, but I want to ask you directly, like, why are you passionate about it? What are you seeing on the other side of helping people?
I see like a mom actually become a mom.
That makes me
Like,
want to cry.
yeah, because when you are lost, and you're going to make me cry, and I do this with moms all the time, because when they finally see, like, one, it's not your fault. Two, you don't have to carry this alone. That's when you see a woman again, a mom. Where have I been for the past 8 years?
Yeah.
Since I've had my son, or 11 years. Where have I been? And seeing that is where I live. That's my validation there. That's my Z, is like, it's going to be okay. So,
Wow. That made me tear and I got the goosebumps from it because I felt
mm,
it. And it's so important because it goes back to what we were saying in the beginning of this conversation too. When the mom is whole, the kid has like such a better chance, whether regardless of, complexity or not. When moms are healthy, kids are healthy. And when moms are healthy, they're present. And like kids need present parents. They need them
yes, yes,
so much.
for sure. And I'll be honest, it's not about perfection, right, Becca? Because
No.
there's no way. Like,
I'm like,
last
I have
night,
not been a perfect mom, not even close. No.
Last night, we were sitting on the couch, and my 8-year-old daughter was next to me. She's like, "Hey, draw with me or paint with me." It was, she brought me a little thing, and we sat down, and I'm painting. And then, of course, my phone rings. And then I remember that I have to order this on Amazon. And so she's painting next to me, and I'm on my phone. My husband's on the other side. And then my daughter, I just hear, "You're ignoring me. Why are you ignoring me?" I was
I've
like,
had that.
"Oh,
Mhm.
crap." And then my husband says, "Yes, you're ignoring her." And I was like, "Oh, okay." So I picked up my phone and I just took it to the kitchen, and I'm like, "I'm not going to touch it because this is time. I can't continue to do this." And then, this, I'm going to bring up a whole other can of worms here, Becca, but, the whole situation of living out of this
Oh my
and
gosh. Yeah.
being taken away from a lot of the time that you would have with your children. But anyway, that's what I'm saying, is like, you will never be perfect. All you can do is try to do your best. That's how you survive, and laugh about it. Laugh if you can't. Like, I'm laughing about it today. Like, dang it, I couldn't put that
Yeah.
phone
I
down,
mean,
right?
I've been through a lot in my life too. And I'm like, if you don't laugh about it, you're going to cry about it. And sometimes you need both. But to stay in the pity party is just weakening your nervous system. It's breaking you. So it's like, what are you going to do? You do your best. You caught it. So laugh about it. I
Yes.
caught it. I
Yes.
care. You care enough to be aware. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly. And
pat on
I'll
the
do
back.
better next time.
Yeah. Pat
I'll
on
leave
the
the
back.
phone in the room, I'll do better next time, but then I'm gonna fail again, but that's
Oh,
okay.
yeah, it's inevitable. We're coming down to, like, the last, like, 10 minutes or so, and so I wanna ask you another question. Now that you've been doing this work, what is a aha or learning lesson that's up for you that you could share with the audience that we haven't chatted about yet?
I think that the aha moment is, like, when I look at my son, and I like to tell stories. Can I tell a story?
Yes, I love stories.
Okay. So my son, he was in the school district, and we felt like the school district close to our house was not doing enough for him. And so we kind of went through the whole thing, and we asked him to be placed in an outside school, which is called a non-public school here in California. And these non-public schools are schools where all of the kids in there, they have IEPs and the individualized educational plans that they have. And so what they call this is a more restrictive environment. And the reason why they say that is because you don't have the neurotypical kids running around with you, and you don't have PE with like 40 kids and things like that. They're usually smaller schools. And we decided that that was good for him because he could not concentrate. Like, he had ADHD, like, off the charts. And we're like, a smaller classroom with less kids is probably going to be one of the best things for him. So we pulled him out, and it's been about 3 years, 3.5 years that he's been out. And today, incredibly enough, today is his last day. at the school where he's been kind of, I don't want to say isolated, but kind of in a small setting. And so next week is Thanksgiving. They don't have school. But when December 1st comes around, he is going to be in a school with 700 kids.
Holy
And
cow.
he's gonna go to the middle school, which is right by our house, and I am excited for him. I'm excited that he's gonna be able to do wood shop. He is excited about that. And then I'm excited that he's gonna be able to go do PE with, like, all the other 6th graders. And at the same time, I'm still a little scared for him, but I am like, "Okay, this is happening." Right? He's 11. This is happening. We're going to bring him back. And this is going to be so good for him because he's going to be able to have friends that live close to
Yeah.
us. And I'm going to be able to give him that next step in his life. So that's my big, like, I don't think that that's where you were
No, but
thinking when
that's
I said
great.
that.
I'm sure other people are listening like, "Oh my god." I mean, that's progression, and
Yes.
that's what I'm hearing too, like behind the story is a process of surrendering. There's a process of allowing growth without
Hmm.
fear taking over. Like I could tear, like there's a lot in the story that you shared that is courageous and brave. And I mean, I'm applauding you. I'm sending
Oh,
all
thank
the good
you.
vibes for December. I hope he does so well.
Oh, thank you.
So let me ask another question. Now that you're doing this work, what is your hope for the future? Like you're going to either retire or retire soon, right? And go into this body of work full time. Like what is your hopes? What impact are you hoping to make through it?
Honestly, like the feeling that I have after I leave an IEP meeting and I know that I just made that school that much better for that child because I am able to do that, right? I'm able to come in and make it better. That feeling that I get when I get out of there and I say, yes, I just did this, that's what I'm looking for. And that's what I want to do. And that's what I want to do for a lot of families out there. So basically, I'm still doing my sales job. I'm still there, but kind of stepping back, scaling back a little bit. I'm letting the kids take over a little bit more and teaching a little bit more for when it's the right time because it has been my baby for 20 years. I've been in the same territory with the same surgeons. And so like leaving the baby a little bit. And so teaching and then really stepping into this full time and really being able to help. This is the biggest thing is like looking at that mom after we get out of the IEP meeting and she goes, thank you so much for saying the things that I have not been able to say and do in the past 8 years. Right? That's what I want to do.
That's awesome. So I always like to end with this. What is an empowering message, like an empowering statement that you can share with the listeners?
I'm going to go back to something that I said in the beginning. Just remember that to take care of yourself. Because if you're not well, your child, whatever age or time in their lives, if you're not well, they're not going to be well. So take care of yourself, mama, because you have to. Nobody else will do it for you unless you do it for yourself.
That is beautiful. I got like full body goosebumps on that. That was beautiful. All right. Well, let's go ahead and share with the listeners how to stay in touch with you. Everything will be in the show notes too, but I want you to go ahead and share away, Michelle.
Sure. So you can find me at Michelle Choairy, and that's a hard one. Or you can find me at specialeducationconcierge.com and or wisdom number 4 complexkids.com. I have lots of ways that you can get in touch with me through social media. I also have a podcast. It's called Complex Kids Simple Solutions. So
Oh,
if
awesome.
you, yeah. So if you're looking to listening more about, special education, advocacy, how to take care of yourself as a special needs mom, and those things. You can find me there also. So,
That is wonderful. Michelle, this was a delightful interview. I knew it was going to be. I teared, I
yes.
got goosebumps. It was all the things. Thank you so much for being a guest.
Oh, thank you, Becca. It was great. Thanks for having me.